Get ready for Inside the Den, brought to you by Washington's beef farmers and ranchers. This is your chance to meet the players under the helmets. Hosted by Matt Lovelace and Coug legend Jack Thompson. It's an all-access look at the Crimson and Gray. Get beyond the X's and O's and meet the personalities who shape our team. Inside the Den, brought to you by Washington's beef farmers and ranchers.
Welcome to Inside the Den, brought to you by Washington's beef farmers and ranchers. And I'm Jack Thompson.
And I'm Matt Lovelace, coming to you from the stunning shores of Lake Chelan as we bring you the stories and the stories behind the stories in Cougar athletics.
You know, Matt, we got a reputation for being scrappy on and off the field.
Yes, we are. A great recent example is how Old Crimson legendary lager came to be. What a story that was.
We don't have a ton of billion-dollar donors, but we do have a lot of passionate alumni.
When the collective knew they wanted to make an NIL beer, they leaned on a pretty strong group of alumni from the media world, the beverage industry, an NFL quarterback, and a bunch of dedicated flag wavers to make it happen.
We use the term mighty by many, and I know this story will exemplify that.
So it was kind of a match made in heaven to have a beer. Leveraged our connections with Cougs first to find Megan Garcia, who's a professional in the beer industry. And Megan, she was the bartender of Valhalla when I was at WSU. Megan was instrumental in making sure that we had the best possible partner for this because we had a vision and the Cougar Collective is going to make a lot of money from it. Old Crimson Legendary Lager was a last-minute throw-in because we assumed that the Old Crimson Booster Club wasn't going to let us use their name. It's obviously a very notable and big brand, and they're on ESPN every Saturday. I wanted it to be name, image, and lager. That was cut really fast. And at the end, Jack Thompson, one of our board members, said, you know, I'm going to call Tom Pounds and see what he says. Immediately, they said yes, get this thing off the ground. And with the QB Classic golf tournament, we knew that we were going to have a bunch of different luminaries at our disposal for that weekend.
Really late in the process, Gardner's name came up as a potential, so we all got excited about that.
Jack kind of sort of initiated the conversation with him a couple weeks before, basically saying, can we possibly have maybe an hour to film a beer commercial? Jack had said like his Saturday morning, he's not fully committed to anything. So we're like, oh, perfect. We'll ask him on Thursday night. We'll make sure that he's available.
So we brought, we were hiring local crew. We brought a big telescoping crane.
And at the end of the day, look, all of us kind of got cold feet. Jack verbatim said to me, Tim, I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if I can do that. And I was like,
we're at the QB Classic on Friday, the day before. And we're meeting people, we're having fun. And then someone says, Gardner's on the course. He's been golfing. I just talked to him. And they're like, yeah, he doesn't know about the commercial tomorrow. I was like, oh, great.
But our backup plan was to have Jack Thompson wave the flag.
Well, Jack shows up in a full sling and his arm doesn't, I'm like, full sling. He just had surgery on his shoulder and he would have done it, but like that wasn't going to work at all. So we're like, okay, well, here's the option. We have to get Minshew to do it. So Minshew comes through and we gave him a minute. He and Jack chatted for a little bit. Have you heard about this commercial we're shooting for the collective for this beer? And he's like, oh man, I'm filming something else during that time. So I was just like, well, why don't we just show up to that shoot and we'll just hang out and see what we can do. They're really nice to us, but we were unannounced, uninvited. And their concept had this little mini school bus. They'd Minshewed it out. It was freezing outside. And he was there and he was just in his short shorts and they had him just in a jacket, no shirt. And they had him doing tricks and throwing stuff. And it was a long shoot, very involved. So for the second half of the shoot, they'd taken that bus up and over a hill and we're gone for a while. And I just kept thinking, we're not going to get a window with him. It's not going to work. And then this school bus crests the hill. This thing comes flying down the hill backward with, Coug flags flying on the back. And it's just Minshew in there ripping down the back of the hill with his arm out the window. Walks right up to us and he's like, okay, guys, I'm ready to go. I'm like, okay, let's go. Took seconds before he just basically took the control of the commercial and started giving me all of his ideas. And he was all about it. Well, that wouldn't make sense, man. If I was doing it, I would walk out and then I would wave the flag and then I would stick it down. I was like, that's great. You do you. And so he basically directed that commercial. And he had a lot of fun with it, like most of those were his ideas. We had a dog in the background. We didn't have time to get rid of it. And he's in the commercial. And I was thinking, okay, we gotta get this dog out of here. And Minshew turns around and he goes, oh man, it makes sense. I'd have my dog out here in the field with me. He was super gracious. All of his humor energy was there. And it was super fun. And then the commercial, I think, turned out really good because of it. I think we shot the entire commercial in 3.5 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. That's what it's like to be a Coug, and that's how we do things.
Well, what a fun weekend that was having Gardner back in town. He did everything for us. But I have to ask you, Jack, what would you have done if he said no to doing this?
Matt, we're Cougs. We would have figured it out.
I guess we would have. So what's the lesson here is if you want to help support your team, you want to win more championships, Cougs, drink some beer. I know you can do it.
Responsibly.
Of course. So Jack, how's this for an idea? You take an old go-kart, you take off the wheels, put on some train wheels, go find yourself an abandoned track somewhere on the Palouse and just go for a little ride.
I don't think that's a pretty good idea, but I think we're going to find out.
I can't believe I just teased that. And I think as we'll find out, maybe it wasn't such a good idea. What a story's coming up here. But before we go, we want to hear from Reese Tappan, WSU soccer player, about why she made her choice to come to Pullman.
Yeah, I went to a few other schools, but I don't know, it just wasn't the same. Like, the people weren't the same, and just like the people here are very like inclusive and really like are passionate about WSU. People here at WSU really make it what it is. They're diehard Cougs and they care about the sports. And even just like walking around town, everyone's just so happy and everyone just like loves being here. And so I think that really makes this community like even more special, because you may not get that in other places.
Welcome to Lake Chelan, where every season brings a new reason to fall in love with our incredible valley. Carve through fresh powder on our dusted hills and indulge your taste buds with exquisite wines from our award-winning wineries. Dive into the refreshing lake where endless water sports await and enjoy the delicious change of color that only autumn brings. From festivals and concerts to comedy shows and yoga, Lake Chelan offers something for everyone all year round. Visit lakechelan.com.
Few things in life are more important than showing up. And whether you show up for your family, friends, or teammates, it doesn't hurt to bring a plate of their favorite beef dish. Together, we bring more. Find your next crowd pleaser at beefitswhatsfordinner.com.
If you can't be in Pullman, the next best place to be is the Marco Polo Bar and Grill. Sink your teeth into our world-famous pressure-cooked chicken. Crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, and seasoned to perfection. Known for our 15 big screens, 100% dedicated to Cougar athletics on game day. At Marco Polo, you can catch every game and soak in the crimson and gray vibes every night of the week. We're creating an experience that will make you feel like you're on the Palouse. Marco Polo Bar and Grill. Go Cougs!
The best part of the morning should be sweet, simple, and serene. Simple is made with real ingredients. Milk, cream, sugar, natural flavor. Bell Coffee Creamer. All the good, none of the bad.
Looking for the perfect spot for your next night out? Discover Flatstick Pub. With local craft beer, old school fun, and unforgettable moments, we have something for everyone. Whether it's a date night, guys' night, or a big group gathering, our unique mini golf and games will keep the good times rolling. Join us at one of our locations across Washington. Flatstick Pub, where great beer meets great fun. Visit flatstickpub.com for more info.
I always wanted to play football, and nobody recruited me. So there wasn't a school where I was like, okay, this is where I want to go. But at some point I made a list. I think it was during COVID. I was just bored, made a list, right? And it was like Florida, Texas, like all the big schools, and then Washington State was on there. For no reason, like no reason at all. Coach Morris, he recruited me, and it was like, all right, like I already knew I was coming here. I got here, woke up at 5 o'clock even, It was bright outside. I was sitting in my dorm room, and I was like, yeah, I think this is it.
Welcome back. We've got more great Cougar stories for you here on Inside the Den. One of those stories is about the very unique friendship between punter Nick Haberer and kicker Dean Janikowski.
When we started this show, everyone said, you gotta interview Nick and Dean. And this story is hilarious.
But here's the thing with these very industrious gentlemen. When our producers reached out to Nick and Dean for a segment on this, they said, you know what, why don't we just shoot it ourselves? We've got experience on YouTube and producing our own content.
And like every great college student, they turned it in the night it was due.
Every college student, you know I teach, right?
Well, you know better.
I know better. Well, here's the story they come up with. Nick and Dean, camera in their own hands, the story of them putting together an old go-kart on an abandoned railroad track into the deep recesses of the Palouse.
Well, we built it in this garage. You basically just have to build this frame, and then you build these special wheels that interlock and hold onto the rails. And we were able to build that pretty quick in here. We got this big go-kart motor for it.
I'd pop my head in and try and help him out where I could.
Obviously, you got to go on a maiden voyage next and go far. We figured out where we can go, and like we go for like 30 miles or something. It's all abandoned.
The ride was beautiful at the start. We started off on these nice little rails and went over a couple of bridges, and
the railroad car was running perfectly. Everything was set up. It was gorgeous. I mean, we had some clips where we were just looking around. We were going across bridges. Like it was euphoric. And like when we were going through these rails, since they're abandoned, they're paved over. So like every mile or so it's not someone's property, and there was no trespassing signs. So like we were just going across, this old man starts to pull up. He's on this tractor and he's coming towards us, and we didn't think of anything because everyone seemed pretty stoked about this thing. Not many people seen a railroad cart, so they were like, yeah, like this is cool, like waving at us, and we were like, oh, no problem. So we were waving at him. We get up to this road to where me and Nick are gonna have to pick up the railroad cart and pick it over. And I'm like, well, he's got something on him.
yeah, I mean, this old bloke just pulled a gun on us and came up to our railroad cart and was like, get off the cart or I'll shoot ya.
Instantly, I know to calm down when I see a gun. Nick just starts losing it on him. He's freaking out.
I mean, well, mate, I've never had a gun being pointed at me before.
And see, what I think happened was he has his property to the left and he has his property to the right. I think he thinks we were trespassing on his property, which obviously it wasn't his property. He was freaking out on us. Once he started to calm down, he was like, all right, listen, you guys walk back and get your truck, come back, pick it up, or I'm calling the cops. I was just trying to think of a plan.
At the time, like, I had no idea that Dean had a plan. And, like, all that was running through my head, like, this is the first time I've been in serious trouble. Like, I thought the cops were going to come, and quite frankly, I thought I was going to get deported, so I was freaking out.
So I think when he takes off, if he goes back to the house, we're going to pretend like we're going to walk back. And I told him we're going to find our keys. Once he goes, we're going to jump on the cart, flip it around, and just shoot for the moon. And as the farmer's going back, Nick finally knew the plan. I told Nick, now! And we ran to it, and we jumped on the cart, flipped the cart around, and by then we were pulling on this cart. And of course, the railroad cart won't start at this time. And the farmer kind of sees that, and I'm pulling on it like crazy. I get the thing started, and we just gun it full speed. We've never stuck this thing to full speed. We take off, and now I see the farmer, this old man, he starts running back to the house, and the railroad cart gets about 200 yards. We haven't gone this fast ever, so we're screaming. This whole thing's shaking side to side. The chain pops off, and so when the chain pops off, I have to get out of the cart because it slows to a stop, and we're in this open field, and I'm trying to get this chain back on, and the week before, of course, Nick gets this stupid Apple Watch. And so this Apple Watch would tell you, like, your heart rate. And this thing's just skyrocketing. Oh, mate, my heart rate is through the roof right now.
My Apple Watch is gone bing, bing, bing. Like, heart rate's gone through the roof. I look down at my Apple Watch. I'm like, Dean, I'm at like 220 beats per second.
Like, mate, shut up. I'm trying to get this chain on, and this chain's spinning at 2,000 RPMs, and I'm trying to put it on without losing my fingers. And so we're going across the rails, and like I said before, every mile or so there's a paved road over. It's not like an easy, quick escape. We're like, I don't know, maybe 800 yards from his house. He is hauling butt through there. You can see the dust clouds. So I'm trying to talk to Nick, and Nick's messing with his stupid Apple Watch at the moment. I'm like, Nick, shut up. We got to figure this out. So we're going full speed. We went about a mile, and you could still see him. He's tracking us down. And we get to a spot, and I'm like, all right, Nick, we got to just dump this thing. We get off of it. We grab the cart, and we put it in some weeds, and we hide there for a bit. We see him going back and forth, back and forth. He's trying to find us. And so now I got to call a buddy. Like, we got to call someone to come save us. And this family comes up to us, and they're like, can we help you guys with something? We're like, oh, no, we're fine. And here comes the truck, and we duck behind the tree while they're there, and they're just staring at us. By now, luckily, our buddy is about to get here. He hauls through the road. He passes us. I'm like, you passed us. And I'm texting him as we're hiding behind this tree. And the guy's still searching for us. I'm like, dude, come back. Jump in his truck. And we get in there and he takes off and we get through there and we get out of there. And we're like, thank goodness.
You know, my heart's pounding there. Yeah. I'm a little speechless because that seems like one of those stories you'd only hear happening to students in and around Pullman. You have anything like that?
Well, Matt, I went to school there, as you know.
Yeah.
I don't recall anything that wild.
I might have a couple stories that could rival it, but I prefer to keep my job on this program.
Hey, let's hear it for Lake Chelan. Thank you for having us here.
Only in Lake Chelan will you find 4 seasons of wine, over 300 days of sunshine, stunning natural beauty, and adventures that you can tune to your own tastes. 50.5 miles of crystal clear glacier-fed lake, surrounded by vineyards, mountains, and small-town charm.
You wrote that?
Yeah, I just came up with that just now.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So hey, after this, we're going to catch up with the Coug favorite.
You always gotta have a chip on your shoulder. One thing is me being undersized considerably for my position. That ain't nothing. It's about heart, and you know what they say is about the fight and the dog. So I feel like that's one of my biggest things right there. Is me showing them that I can do what anybody else can. I don't feel like there's nothing that I can't do. So.
Welcome to Lake Chelan, where every season brings a new reason to fall in love with our incredible valley. Carve through fresh powder on our dusted hills and indulge your taste buds with exquisite wines from our award-winning wineries. Dive into the refreshing lake where endless water sports await and enjoy the delicious change of color that only autumn brings. From festivals and concerts to comedy shows and yoga, Lake Chelan offers something for everyone all year round. Visit lakechelan.com.
If your family has an athlete or has a whole team, being prepared is the key to performance. And Beef performs every time. Fueling practice? Check. Game time snacks? Double check. Celebration meal? Triple check. Because win or lose, it's really about how you feed the game, right? Together, we bring more. Go to beefitswhatsfordinner.com for more recipes that will help your family perform.
If you can't be in Pullman, the next best place to be is the Marco Polo Bar and Grill. Sink your teeth into our world-famous pressure-cooked chicken. Crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, and seasoned to perfection. Known for our 15 big screens, 100% dedicated to Cougar athletics on game day. At Marco Polo, you can catch every game and soak in the crimson and gray vibes every night of the week. We're creating an experience that will make you feel like you're on the Palouse. Marco Polo Bar and Grill. Go Cougs!
The best part of the morning should be sweet, simple, and serene. Simple is made with real ingredients. Milk, cream, sugar, natural flavor, Bell Coffee Creamer. All the good, none of the bad.
Looking for the perfect spot for your next night out? Discover Flatstick Pub. With local craft beer, old school fun, and unforgettable moments, we have something for everyone. Whether it's a date night, guys' night, or a big group gathering, our unique mini golf and games will keep the good times rolling. Join us at one of our locations across Washington. Flatstick Pub, where great beer meets great fun. Visit flatstickpub.com for more info.
I think the biggest thing right now is that people probably don't put it all together, but I'm going into season 5. 2 as a defensive coordinator and year 3 being the head coach, and this community and campus is just really now ingrained with our family. It's now really become one. My boys are playing baseball for the city, my daughter's in theater camp, and it's just, there's a way of life and a value that this place has really brought into us that makes us, I think, one. We talk about family over flash here in our program all the time, and that's Pullman. It's blue collar, it's chip on your shoulder. It's just having those old school core values that really resonate with people around here, and it resonates a lot with our family. So there's a way of life that it provides that I don't think you get compensated for, but we realize that, and I think that makes it a really, really great partnership and a really great fit for the campus, the community, and obviously our families. So it's just one of those things when it really aligns, you feel it and you start to understand it. You'd ask my youngest son, and I ask him where he's from. We're from Pullman, Washington. We're no longer from Wisconsin, Dad, and I think that's a cool place to be. Each team is uniquely different, right? And I think that's very evident with the 24 team this season, and just excited about it. I think it's the most competitive football team that I've had since we've been here, and I think it's really unique. We've talked about it quite a bit. Don't have all the big names. The R.J. Stones, the Brendan Jacksons, Shaw Smith-Mays, Jaden Hicks, and sometimes that would scare a lot of coaches, but for us, we're just really excited about the people that we've invested up to this point and what they want to be about. And it's just fun to watch them compete every day. But just you put these cameras in the locker room and you'll have plenty of content because they're fun to be around, right? They love each other. I think Pullman creates a connection within your football team that's unmatched, right? Because there isn't a ton of fancy things to do. It's hanging out with each other, but they are competitive. You break out, we have a Connect 4 competition. These guys go wild, right? We do 3-on-3 basketball, and we have a trip to the Snake River as a team this weekend. It's amazing the type of connection and bonds that they're formed. And what I try to get these guys to realize is those moments in the locker room, that wins football games, right? That trust and that energy that they have to be around each other, it's everything. So that leads to what you see on the field in a big, big way.
Welcome back to Inside the Den, brought to you by Washington's Beef Farmers and Ranchers.
And speaking of ranchers, Jack, how do you think our current football team would do as cattle ranchers?
I don't know. It's kind of a scary thought, actually.
How about this? What if it was Coug great Will Durting?
Different story. He's a legend.
Well, after that legendary career on the Palouse, Will started a family and became a cattleman. He and his wife, Nicole, own Post 5 cattle in Ephrata.
We caught up with Will and we asked him a simple question. Was it easier being a college football player or raising cattle?
There is a lot of similarities, surprisingly, when you have high stresses, when you're getting hit every day, when you're getting hurt. If you can't keep your body healthy, you can't keep playing, you're not going to feel good, you're not going to perform good.
Beef is an awesome complete protein choice for our athletes. It's full of heme iron, kind of those essential nutrients such as B12 and zinc, which is super important to the holistic view of an athlete, where they're growing and developing and going through kind of their life phases and their training phases. Beef really helps solidify all the hard work that they've put into by building muscles and muscle growth, and a great nutrient-dense source of protein.
When I got to WSU, I was light. They wanted me to gain weight. We had our own athletes cafeteria that we ate at. If you had to gain weight, you had to, they swiped your card. You had to go there twice a day and eat. They're really protein-based, a huge amount of meat.
One of my players every single morning will eat ground beef only for breakfast every single day, like a breakfast burrito or a beef egg scramble with hash browns.
Our job as cattlemen is to keep our cattle healthy and happy. I have a full-time nutritionist that works with us. He's here every week. He looks at our feed, stuff. We really try to pinpoint how to best take care of these cattle. And it's the same thing with athletes. Is if you don't have that nutrition up, and especially protein in our world, it's everything. Because if you can't keep your body healthy, you can't keep playing, you're not going to feel good, you're not going to perform good. And it's the same thing with cattle. If we don't keep them happy and healthy, they're not going to perform for us.
That's all we have for today. Special thanks to Washington Beef's Farmers and Ranchers, Lake Chelan, the Hurley Media Group, and my co-host, Matt Lovelace.
Thank you very much, Jack. Also want to thank the Cougar Collective, the athletes, Nick Garner, and the Cougar Athletics Department, and everybody who made this show possible.
Matt, I don't know about you, but that water's calling my name.
With weather like this, I might have to take the kids to Slide Waters.
Can I join you?
You can. How about a winery after?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I think it starts with, even as a leader, sometimes admitting mistakes, right? And one thing I told the team when we started this season in January is that I probably tried to take on too much, right? We went with Cougs versus everybody, and that can be a weight, right? But I think at that moment, that's what I felt. All that was very authentic because I know how much it impacted our program, university, and community. But I think we've shifted that since this new season. Is just always us, never them, right? We can't control what has happened to us. And a lot of people spend all their energy trying to change the past. We need to spend all our energy creating a new future. And there's a new chapter and a new opportunity out there for Cougar athletics and Cougar football. So that's what we got to be really innately focused on, going out there and executing every day. And that's why the collective is such a big part of this future growth. So understanding and getting young people we can't control that. We control our actions, the way we show up in the building, how hard we're willing to work, and what we're willing to sacrifice to go out there and have a great product as a team. Because at the end of the day, this is a unique opportunity for them, right? We got 18 or so seniors that we need to maximize this opportunity for, and they believe in what we're doing. So as far as Coug Nation, we will find a great place for Cougar football. If we continue to invest the way we're capable of doing, like I said, there's opportunities out there like never before. So that's kind of the message that we've given to the team. It's always us, it's never them. But we need everybody's best. Not just the team, not just the coaches. That's faculty, it's alumni, it's every community member here, and that's Cougs all across this world. We need you right now more than ever. And that's why it's just always us, never them.
Welcome to Lake Chelan, where every season brings a new reason to fall in love with our incredible valley. Carve through fresh powder on our dusted hills and indulge your taste buds with exquisite wines from our award-winning wineries. Dive into the refreshing lake where endless water sports await and enjoy the delicious change of color that only autumn brings. From festivals and concerts to comedy shows and yoga, Lake Chelan offers something for everyone all year round. Visit lakechelan.com.
Few things in life are more important than showing up. And whether you show up for your family, friends, or teammates, it doesn't hurt to bring a plate of their favorite beef dish. Together, we bring more. Find your next crowd pleaser at beefitswhatsfordinner.com.
If you can't be in Pullman, the next best place to be is the Marco Polo Bar and Grill. Sink your teeth into our world-famous pressure-cooked chicken. Crispy on the outside, juicy on the inside, and seasoned to perfection. Known for our 15 big screens, 100% dedicated to Cougar athletics on game day. At Marco Polo, you can catch every game and soak in the crimson and gray vibes every night of the week. We're creating an experience that will make you feel like you're on the Palouse. Marco Polo Bar and Grill. Go Cougs!
Looking for the perfect spot for your next night out? Discover Flatstick Pub. With local craft beer, old school fun, and unforgettable moments, we have something for everyone. Whether it's a date night, guys' night, or a big group gathering, our unique mini golf and games will keep the good times rolling. Join us at one of our locations across Washington. Flatstick Pub, where great beer meets great fun. Visit flatstickpub.com for more info.